Howdy, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great end of the week. And the end of this week would be Memorial, or gosh, darn it. Me, like many other people, always say, I'll tell you why I say Memorial Day. And normally I don't do that. It's Veterans Day weekend where we honor the veterans. And I just did a video. I'm so mad at myself that I just did that. Hold on one second. Just this camera, just a tad bit. And the video I did was to honor the veterans, but the facility was called the Santa Rosa County Veterans Memorial Plaza. So I have that word memorial embedded in my brain, and it's coming out. It's like big faux pas, right intent, wrong time. But anyway, so the let's see. There's a lot to talk about. Let me share with you my homeless meal for the night. I'm going to eat these. I don't know how well you can see this. Kind of like it's called a Star Kiss tuna fish lunch to go. I think it has relish. I can't do mayonnaise and crackers and what have you, so that'll be good. And I'll probably eat some of these Chef Boyardee ravioli thing. I know the light's bright. It's funny. I went from not having proper lighting to too much lighting. But I'll probably eat these mini raviolis cold. They won't kill you. Keeps you alive, right? Trying to live on a budget. And then hey, how you doing there, Pooch? Pastor Pooch? Always nice to see you. Hello, Jamie. We always seem to miss each other, Jamie. And hi, Melinda. Nice seeing you too. So, some of my favorite peeps in the group here on this Friday night, and I'm so not used to this Central Time zone I'm in now that I did when I posted this for the live event. I on the through the StreamYard, I did put it as Central Time, but when I typed, you know, the header, I put Eastern Daylight Time, and I realized, you big dummy, you can't get anything right. I was so stuck into that mentality. But let me see, what can I talk to you about today that's going to interest you before I get to the meat and potatoes, or as some people would call it, the big elephant in the room. I am going to talk to you just about general stuff. Not much happening in with my mom because I really haven't called her in a while. Every time we talk, she she hangs up on me, not intentionally, but she just doesn't know how to work the device anymore. So, plus I've had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff going on. So, uh, if you've not watched the channel, which it's okay, it's understandable. I'm not anybody real important to watch, but uh, not yesterday, but the day before, I ventured out to Pensacola in search of a new campground, and uh, I just fell in love with this place. It's called the Big Lagoon State Park. I did a video today and review. I did the video previously, but released it today. Uh, my videography skills aren't the greatest, but the campground is outstanding. It's just phenomenal. And plus, the one great thing that I liked about that campground was I had full cell phone service, all my full bars. I was not restricted in any way, and uh, just amazingly beautiful campground. And I was surprised I even got in there, to be honest with you. And they were saying that they had no availability on the weekend, um, which I can believe that. It's like excellent boating area, a lot of walking trails, stuff like that. So it's called Big Lagoon State Park. It's in Perdido Key, Florida. highly recommend it. If you're looking for a place to hang out, that is top notch, top notch. If you get a chance, if you want to watch my video, you can get a feel for what the place is about, and it's really nice, really nice. What else can I tell you? Just trying to stay vertical is a hard hustle nowadays, to be honest with you. Just trying to get by. A friend of mine that I've known for probably 2 years through social media, the platform Facebook, and I was able to watch her a couple of years ago through a channel that did an amazing podcast with her, probably at least an hour and a half long, and it was tremendous. Her name is Charlinda Scales, right here. I always get this backwards, reverse. Charlinda Scales. She's Air Force related, Air Force veteran. Her grandfather is Air Force. A lot of military members in her family, and so this is a great time to announce her new publication of her book, and it's kind of symbolic in a way. I wish I had this a month earlier. This was released on through Amazon on Halloween, October 31st. You can get it on Amazon. I think it's $16.99. I got it through Amazon Prime. It cost me $18.18. Her story is just incredible. I've only read one page of this because my brain cannot focus right now. I have so many problems and so many worries, and but I know there's a good message in here because I've already heard a lot of her message, her publication, her timing in life is tremendous, and her hustle. She has more hustle than anybody I've ever seen. And when I tell you that, I mean that. I mean, I'm not talking any. I'm talking to everybody, athletes. I just her desire, her will, is just her choices she's made business wise have been tremendous. But in this book, I'm sure she's going to tell you a little differently. But I don't know if I can really share that podcast that I was privileged to, because it was kind of like a private thing. She is an amazing individual. So I will tell you this about Charlinda Scales. She really has no quit in her, which is very admirable. Very admirable. She always finds a way. Fortunately for her, she has family. I have no family. So there's no correlation there if you're trying to make a correlation there. But she makes really wise decisions. She's very intelligent, and she has a lot of ties to Daymond John from Shark Tank. Her story is just I'm going to tell you the truth here. When I started the G Money podcast, that has pretty much zero content. It was just me talking, I think, on one video. And then I do an introduction. I actually deleted one video, and because I wanted her to be one of my first guests. And when I reached out to her 2 or 3 months ago, she said, yes, let's do it in October. And now I know why she wanted to do it in October, because it was going to be prior to her book launch, which would have been perfect. But that's when my world fell apart. So I don't feel real comfortable doing a G Money podcast with a high quality individual like Charlinda Scales to give her the credit she's due. But I do want to do a G Money podcast with her. And the reason I want to do it on the G Money podcast, and I can understand this, she's very smart with business. She wants to, let me stand up sit up straight, so I don't want to be slouched over like I was. And sorry, I was getting a little tired there, but she really protects her image. So I know if I do something with this channel name, she's probably not going to communicate a whole lot because she probably doesn't understand the channel. But it's okay. She knew me as an individual on Facebook, doesn't really know this channel, but I have ordered. So she has a company called Mutts Sauce. It's Mutts, Mutts sauce. And I ordered from her, I don't think it was last year, I think it was the year before, right prior to Christmas. I mean, it was like days prior to Christmas, a 3-pack of her sauces. And they arrived prior to Christmas. I was like so impressed. And she's a really good businesswoman. Her family's involved in the business, and she's carrying on her family tradition from her grandfather. So I encourage you to, if you get a chance, go to Facebook and look up Mutts Sauce, look up Charlinda Scales. You can Google Charlinda Scales. She is, I think actually this weekend, she is doing some type of real famous podcast where she's being interviewed. She has a lot of influence in military business, entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So she's definitely worth a look up. Mutts Sauce, Charlinda Scales, and hello, Dan. So let's get on to some other things. I'm happy but sad at the same time because I relocated to this region. This region is really weird. It's kind of like, in a lot of areas it's economically depressed. In a lot of areas it's just hidden gem. It has so much beauty, and so I've been wanting to pump out more content. I'm trying to stay focused, but for a long time the temperatures were not conducive to me being in the van trying to do stuff. It's really, basically I'm a transient. I bounce around. I have the van for basically 2 more weeks, unless I poop a miracle. But it's I'm trying to film as much as I can, still be focused. And if anybody's questioning about my employment, I did not get the job, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. And that really disappoints me because I was definitely misled in the process, and I tried to be very respectful to them and other potential employers. I was waiting to find out basically what my work schedule was going to be, but I was contacted on Monday, and my interview was supposed to be Tuesday at 1:15. So I was contacted on Monday. I don't remember what time it was, but the manager calls. Hey, he's like, hey, So I'm like, yeah, no problem. I can do that. And pretty sure it was Monday when he called me. But either way, we scheduled it for 1:15. And then he's talking to me. And it was kind of weird because I had submitted the application online, and they ask you what your desired pay is. And I put a wage in there, and I didn't think it was too unreasonable. A lot of businesses will try and bicker with you on that. And so when he called me, he's like, hey, yeah, got your application, like set up an interview. He goes, well, what kind of wage are you asking for? And I said, well, I think I already put that in the application. You said you wouldn't interview me until I submitted the application. I pretty much have it there. It should be right in front of you. And he says, yeah, well, I've never known anybody to be hired at that rate. But, it could be close or something like that. So so he goes, well, what? And I said, look, you can look at my resume. I know what my value is. And I even lowballed myself. And it's just kind of weird how this region works. Is they're probably hired somebody else for about $3 or $4 less, even though it's probably not the right business move, for budgetary purposes. That did not happen. So, I've done some stuff online. I was really trying to be respectful of the process because one employer that I had a real good chance to get a job with was Home Depot, but they don't start anybody off at 40 hours a week. I need 40 hours a week minimum, plus a part-time job. Home Depot, their process is, at least in this region, they start you off at 28 hours a week max. And then later in time, they can bump you up to 40 hours if they feel you're worthy. So I didn't go that avenue. Well, one, because the store manager made it sound like it was a done deal. Just have to, get through the interview process by their standards. So now I feel like I was totally duped, lied to, especially when the guy called me on Tuesday morning, 4 hours before the scheduled interview. And he says, "Hey, man, we need to reschedule for a couple days from now. Something came up, blah, blah, blah." So when I called today, trying to do some follow-up, the general manager answered the phone. And I'm like, "Hey, I introduced myself. I was, I'm just checking on this, trying to see what's going on." He goes, "Oh yeah, we already hired somebody for that position. We may have another position open." So basically, the manager lied to me. Just tell me. Everything I'm sharing honesty with you. Why can't you share honesty back? It's called professional reciprocation, right? So now I realize this guy I trusted, put my faith in, based on our conversations and him reviewing my resume, he basically lied. Nothing came up. They hired somebody else. Just tell me you hired somebody else. You just, that's just, to me, that's professional BS right there. To me, that's not a very good manager. Especially when I went through all the BS I had to go through to submit the application and go through that process. So my future looks very bleak, and there's no way I could work at a hardware store and then go work at a home improvement store like Home Depot. It would be a conflict of interest. Based on everything I was told by the manager, like, yeah, it's just a formality. We just got to get this interview done. I didn't go the Home Depot route because I wanted 40 hours a week, and I knew there would be a conflict of interest. So now it's like, I've had trust issues for a long time. And it's weird because every time I tell my inner soul to trust the process, trust the individual, trust what you're hearing, don't be judgmental, I get boned. And what I'm pissed about is all the manager had to say is, we can't pay that much. We can't pay that. At least afford me the opportunity for an interview. This was all drawn out, all about a freaking interview. 2 weeks of bullshit I went through just to get an interview, to get no interview, because it came down to pay. At least afford me the opportunity for a freaking interview. Let me show my talents, my skills. No, it's a dollar number. Are you hiring the best person for your budget or the best person for your business? Give the right people the opportunity, especially during your busiest time of the year. Pre-holidays, pre-Thanksgiving, pre-Christmas. To me, that's just doesn't send a very good message to me. Do I sound bitter? Hell yeah, I'm very bitter. Very bitter. And I even told the manager, I said, look, based on everything you've told me, and this was stupidity on my part because I allowed myself to trust. and believe. But I told him, look, I said, just so you know, I told him this like a week and a half ago. All my eggs in this basket because of what you told me. And I'm excited because I really want to work here. I feel this is a great fit for me. And he's like, yeah, man, you're the dude. You're the dude. You're the man, you know. Well, here I am, unemployed, about to lose my van, have no insurance, for being professional, wearing professional attire, professional clothing, submitting a resume. I guarantee in this redneck town, probably nobody submits a freaking resume. I have a professional resume, professional work background. Here I am. You know, I laugh. You know, I'm thinking to myself, you know, I'm 9 months away from being able to collect Social Security. 9 months away. I'm never going to see that. I'm probably not even going to see Christmas, to be honest with you. I'll be happy to see freaking Thanksgiving. It's crazy. My mind is, I almost said a phrase that probably wouldn't be suitable for this platform, but let's say mind screwed. I don't understand it. I don't, you know, family and dying mother, trying to help your dying mother. There's a power of attorney, and you know, there's the favorite son. All, you know, it's like, it's just total bullshit. You know, total bullshit. You know, I'm going to remind you about the process in case anybody doesn't remember. But my mother was going to change the will at one point in time to co-power of attorneys, because at one point in time I asked her, prior to her losing her mentality, I said, you know, what's going on, you know, with everything, and because of her age and stuff like that. So we pulled out the files, we looked at everything, and I saw that somebody else was the power of attorney, which doesn't surprise me because he's always been the favorite son. So so we, you know, we get talking about that. She goes, no, we can change. I didn't know that, you know, which is total bullshit, but she lied to me. He's always been the favorite son. And then at a later time, she said, well, I just did it because he's the oldest son. You know, she changed her story a couple times. But so we get, and the attorney was like literally a mile and a half, 2 miles down the road. So she goes, no, we can change. I said, are you sure? You know, it's up to you. This is before she lost her mental capability of reasoning. So I kid you not, it's the funniest damn thing. It's funny because it's not funny, because it's going to ultimately cause my death. We had an appointment at 10 a.m. on, I believe it was a Friday. We pull up in front of this attorney's office who did the original document at 9:45 a.m. Phone rings. It's her other son, the power of attorney. And she goes, oh, can I call you back? We're at the attorney's office. You know, so ding, bing, bing, all kinds of red flags go up in his brain. So they should have, you know, I mean, like, it wasn't like I was setting up. This is a decision she's making on her own. And so we go in there. The attorney interviews my mother and talks about the process, tries to make sure she's coherent enough. She evaluated her, could tell she was. And she asked, you know, basically she wanted to know some information about the deed for the house, and everything was in my mom's name, blah, blah, blah. And she needed a death certificate for the husband. So got all that prepared. And then on Monday morning, I show back up when they open. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was, 10 o'clock, whatever it was, with the death certificate. And I think that was all she required, whatever it was. But so I pull up and I go in there, and I give this information. The lady says, thank you. No problem, blah, blah, blah. So then as I'm leaving, I see somebody eyeballing me, right? Somebody like giving me a hard eyeball, long hair, and just I'm like thinking, like, what's their friggin' problem, So then, so I leave, and I'm headed back to my mom's community, which is gated community, and I see the same vehicles like following me into the gated community, everything. And then I realized when I turn on the street that my mom lives on, which is kind of like way back in the community, I'm like, oh, please tell me this is not happening. Oh yeah. The vehicle following me was allegedly my sibling, who has a 3-letter title. So, actually at that time, I was in my mother's vehicle. I had borrowed my mother's car because there was a little hiccup with my automobile insurance. My van was parked in the driveway. That's exactly correct. So, so I pull up, and he comes over, and then I realize at that point who it is, and he's like, "What's going on? What are you doing?" Like kind of like, I guess, insulted or whatever. And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's going, like, so he starts being an ass, and so then he tells me I said, look, I don't want to get in an argument with him. I'm just going to leave, and I'll come back a little bit later. He goes, if you leave with this car, I'm going to have you arrested for vehicle theft. I said, oh, really? You, the reformed drug addict and alcoholic, right? I'm like, I slammed it in park at that point, and I probably can't repeat or report what I said. I pretty much told him to get the blank out of my face, or this could be your last day on earth. For him to insult me, trying to accuse me for vehicle theft when I had permission to use the vehicle, just because he had a title. He was on his high and mighty horse, right? So this is part of the crap I've had to deal with for a long time, trying to accuse me of vehicle theft. My mother granted me permission to use her car. So here we are, evicted by the power of attorney because he's on his kick. And Pooch, are you still in here? I know you're driving. If it's possible, hit a thumbs up if you're still in here, because I want to remind you of something. Because I did a podcast with your wife a couple times, or 2 or 3 times, and all that, everything I shared prior, everything is coming crystal clear, like I had a crystal ball at that point in time. So it just blows my mind. Like, I've told everybody what's going to happen in this entire process for a long time. And it's crazy. So I Pooch is driving. He probably can't pull over anywhere. I appreciate you, Jamie, and you guys. But I will tell you, I discussed it with Tish Ross on her No Judgment Here with Tish Ross. The perfect way to eliminate somebody and not commit a murder is just make their life so miserable that they take themselves out. Everything I've told you prior to this, it's happened. Everything has happened. You make somebody's life so miserable, you're not accused of murder, but you have a lot of profit to gain. That's the perfect plan. That's exactly what I called it. The perfect plan. You don't get accused of murder, but you can make someone's life so freaking miserable that they end up taking themselves out. So it's not a mental health problem. It's a financial problem. I've said that. I'll say it to my dying day. It's not a mental health problem. It's a financial problem. So I don't read a lot. I can only read. I can tell you honestly, I can only read when I'm at peace because my brain is literally like seeing a squirrel. I cannot rest. I cannot relax. It's hard, but I'm gonna try and get on to some a few positive things that have happened today. Nothing great that's like throw me a lifeline or anything like that. But I was talking to a lady today, and we were chit chatting a little bit, and I was indoors in a facility that had air conditioning, trying to just kill some time and charge my phone and what have you. And the lady, I'm slumping over, and I'm gonna do that deliberately because my back's starting to get spasms. But we got talking, and I just, I was just sharing my life. She's sharing her life. She actually shared some stuff about her life, which is kind of weird, So we're kind of friends now, I guess you could say. And so I told her, kind of what I was going through, where I camped, why I camped, and some stuff. How like last night I slept at a rest area. Every night I have to try and find a new place to sleep. A new place to boondock. It's not as romantic as YouTube makes it sound. It really isn't. You're just trying to stay evasive from people. That knock on the window by the police or somebody, and so she turns out she bought me my meal, my lunch, my beverages, and then she came back to me later and said, "Hey, just to let you know, I live." She said something like 30 miles that way, which was pointing towards Pensacola. And she goes, "You can come stay, over on my," because I told her, I was like, I just don't like having to find a new place every night to hang out. And she says, she said something like, "I have 5 acres, a horse, and a pig. You can hang out there." I said, I just need a place to park, just so I don't have problems. And she goes, "No, you can stay there if you want." So that was kind of like encouraging. I felt bad. She did pay for my meal and beverages, but it kind of gave me a little bit of hope. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like the ultimate lifeline, but it kind of gives you a little bit of hope. There's still good people out there in the world. You know what I mean? And that's what kills me about my situation. I feel like I'm one of the good people in the world that trying to help people, always do things, and for others. I just don't feel like the reciprocity. And that came out wrong. Let me adjust my statement, Your Honor. I asked to remove that last statement from the record, please. So let me try and rephrase that. It's just weird. I like doing things for other people. I think that's my inner soul, my heart. That's what I'm about. Um, and the reality is, right now, I can't take care of myself. I can't take care of myself. But the reality is also, I cannot lose this vehicle. I cannot lose this van. Cannot lose my auto insurance. And those two combined are like big lump sum numbers in the next 30 days, which freaks my brain out. My brain's like, because even if I started a job on Monday, which doesn't look like I'm going to do, if it pays weekly, the first pay would be the week after. And then, it's just, or if it's bi-weekly, it's just like your brain, it's hard to relax, man. It's just really hard to relax when you know that, like, you're like just SOL. And my auto insurance policy is near the end of its policy. So what's going to happen is they're going to double bill me for the next, it's like I've 30 days for my auto insurance, and it's a large number, which just freaks me out. That's why I was like putting all my faith in this manager based on everything he said. So I'm freaking out, as you can tell. I will try and tell you some other things. I did a video today for Veterans Day weekend. There was about a 9 or 10 second snafu I had in there. I referred to it as Memorial Day because I was at a Veterans Memorial Plaza, and I kind of got a little tongue tied. So I didn't have enough time to edit it out because of the heat in the van and what have you. So I just left it in there. But overall, I think it's a amazing small town tribute to the veterans, and I hope you can give that a look. I did something special as a surprise for a YouTube friend, a co-host for a channel at JJ Drones. I think that person will really appreciate. It was basically a free gesture I could do. I stumbled upon something in this town. It's called Milton, Florida. Excuse me, sorry for the belching again. And I realized, oh my gosh, this is their passion. This is their passion. Let me document this. Let me share this. And so basically, I sent an email offering this as basically a Thanksgiving / Christmas gift, because there's probably not much else I can do. And but I have some other friends, especially on that channel. I don't know what I'm going to do for them, but anyway, so it's Friday night. It's 5:37 Central Time. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm trying to read a message here. Hold on one second, folks. Yeah, Jamie, 100% correct. I was a dumbass for trusting and believing. It was just a job I really wanted. And I tried to respect the process on both sides, their side and the other side, based on everything I was fed, the information I was fed. So, yeah, I'm a dumbass for doing that. So I just pretty certain in this town, it's not going to pay a whole lot. I thought at that hardware store or something like that. Like I said, I'm actually right behind me. I'm at Lowe's parking lot. I probably have a better opportunity. That's one of the things that's kind of in the works, Lowe's. But if they have the same policy like Home Depot, where they only start you off with like 28 or 30 hours or 32 hours, I'm going to be SOL anyway. So, it's like, I'm kind of pissed off about the whole process. Like, my big thing is I try, especially in the business world, I've been in management for like many, many, many years, and you have to be professional. Just be honest with people. That's all it is. It's easy. It's communication 101. Just be honest with people. Like, okay, okay, we see you have this felony arrest for, robbing the Bank of America. We feel that, we believe in second chances, but at this point in time, we think you need to rehabilitate yourself or whatever, or, whatever it is, but just be freaking honest. Just tell the truth. We found somebody we feel is more qualified. At least communicate a message. I went out of my way for 2-3 weeks. In the process, keep reappearing in proper business attire to show my interest, bring in my resume, and I get, oh yeah, something came up. and to find out they hired somebody else. That's what came up. Just tell me. There's that dangling carrot again, right? That dangling carrot. Right now, I would never go to work for them. I would never go to work for them because I know what they're capable of doing. I've seen the ugly side. So, this weekend's about remembering the veterans. As much as I got sidetracked, please remember the veterans that have served. There's a lot of, if you watch my video, you'll be amazed. You'll forget a lot of the different battles and conflicts and wars our country's been through. And then you may see something different at the end that, maybe tear you up a little bit when you realize there's going to be more in the future. So this weekend's about the veterans. Unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but let me rephrase that. It's not about me. 2 weeks from now, it could be about me. Right now, it's not about me. It's about the veterans. Do what you can for the veterans. So right now, I'm going to tap out. Thank everybody that's listened. I do love YouTube, and especially all the people in here tonight. This is a great representation of my friendship base, my follower base. There's more followers right now. Different people are doing things, driving trucks or what have you. And I do like you guys, man. I like you guys a lot. I don't ever want to leave YouTube. I just want you to know that I don't ever want to leave YouTube. But I can only do what I can do. You know what I mean? So I love you guys. Just remember, this weekend's about the veterans. So show your respect to the veterans. If you have kids and children, like Jamie, this would be a great example for you. Perhaps I'm not trying to tell you how to parent or anything. Maybe if you can, I know you're down there in Texas. Maybe take your kids to a veterans cemetery. Explain to them what it's all about, why they are there. And then explain to them all the freedoms that they have on your little homestead, your little farm. And so, like I said, it's about the veterans. But Jamie, to ask your question, my perfect job, which I've been so damn close so many times, another person ruined that for me. I can't tell you all the details on this platform as much as I want to. I would love to have a bait and tackle shop. Working for a bait and tackle shop would be the second best option. But owning my own, I know I can make it a grand slam. I know. I'm like, it's not even a doubt in my mind. Jamie, you've said that often. You should come to Texas. Like, yeah, I should come to Texas. Yeah, I should have, fairy dust fall out of the sky. Bless me with millions of dollars too. Texas is a lot further away. Requires money. I have a storage unit that's due in 7 days, $57, that I have to make a decision not to pay because I have to continue to put fuel in the tank. I got to try and save money for food. I'm less than 1G. I mean, like, I'm less than 1K. I mean, like, and it's not even near the top end. So, I'm not asking for assistance. I'm just telling my story. Since this crap show has started, I wanted to document my story so everybody knows. Because one day, if I'm not here, it's going to be all documented. I've talked about the perfect plan, and I don't want that person to succeed. But the reality is, no money, no livy. No money, no livy. You no livy, you no money, you no pay, you no stay. You understand what I'm saying, folks? It's what it comes down to. It comes down to money. So I'm going to tap out. Steve, sort of. Yeah. Steve, let me catch up with you on the side on that, Steve, and we can talk about that. I had a mobile setup. I did not have a brick and mortar store, but I can talk to you more about that later. And I'll catch up with you guys, man. It's like I just I don't like to get on here and spew negativity, but unfortunately my life doesn't contain a whole lot of positivity right now. So that's why I try and do things like I do, try and contribute to the JJ Drones channel. I try and go out and do the Veterans Summit, the Veterans Memorial videos. I try and do a video that I did for a special YouTube friend to try and uplift people. I try and do as many little things as I can to make it look like I'm living a normal life. It's, like I said in one of my videos recently, it's a facade. It's a front. It's not true. I'm not living a happy life, but I try and portray it as much as I can, other than when I get on here and just tell the truth on these lives. I know it pisses some people off, and they like to, it fuels their fire to talk about me and whatever. And I don't give a rat's ass anymore, to be honest with you. I really don't. I got bigger problems, Let me remind you folks what my meal is for tonight. This lunch to go and some cold Chef Boyardee. The reason I'm eating that, because I already own it, and I don't have to spend any more money today. Tomorrow's going to be a new journey. I'm not, this is what it is. You know what I mean? And like I want to reiterate to everybody, I'm not asking for money. I'm just telling my story. It's sad. But if you ever get a chance, go back and watch some podcasts at No Judgment Here with Tish Ross. I predicted this all along, a freaking year ago. I predicted all this. So, if I had the ability to focus, I would read this. I know there's good, valuable information in here. Please check out my friend Charlinda Scales on she has a very small presence with her business on YouTube. Very small, not a whole lot there. She's very big on, you can Google her. You can also Facebook her, and also you can Facebook her business, Mutt Sauce. So I'm the only thing I'm praying for in my life right now is tranquility. When I went to that campground for I won't even say I left around 9:30 in the morning, to be honest with you, but they allowed me to check in 3.5 hours early the day before. I felt tranquil. It was so weird. It's like I felt at home at that campground, because that represents everything I feel I'm about. Tranquility, being out there in nature, seeing beautiful sights, trying to share it with other people. Tranquility is not something I've had for a very long time. But I want you guys, how can I say this where it's not going to be misconstrued? It's the holiday season right now, and I'm not meaning this in regards to me. Please do not misrepresent this next statement. But when you see a homeless guy on a corner, when I say a homeless guy, like at least I've got the van for a little while, right? When you see a homeless guy on the corner, give the dude $5, $10. Give him a little bit of your groceries. You may get beat out of money, but you may keep somebody alive for another day. You know, I see so much stuff on YouTube about Christianity and faith and religion and all this. And then I see a lot of what I call mock Christians. And I know this is not going to score points with a lot of people, but humanity 101, take care of thy brother, right? Help somebody when you can. That's all it's about. It's easy. And I'm not talking about me, but there's so many, like the closer you get to military bases, you see more homeless people. I hate to see it. There's probably a lot of homeless vets and stuff. And no, Jamie, she never got to finish that process. I got accused of vehicle theft and it was fought, and long story. And every one of my stories apparently is a long story. But so I'm gonna tap out, but I'm gonna try and tap out on a positive way. Remember, when you look at the American flag, those colors represent something. And Jamie, I'm going to issue a challenge, right? I know you have children of different ages. I know you have some older children. So I encourage you tonight to try and educate your children what the representation of the colors mean in the United States flag. It's very symbolic, and what the stars are, how many stars, why there's so many stars, what the red represents, what the white represents, what the blue represents. So that's my challenge to you. All right, so try and uplift each other when you can. I'll find a way to make it. You know, all you can do is live until you die. That's basically that's how we live, right? Just live until you die. You know, that's what it's about. Just live until you die. So remember, folks, take care of your veterans. Take care of your kids. Just take care of all people. Take care of mankind. Just be kind to people. Just be kind. It's humanity 101. Just be kind. Thank you.